Welcome to this episode of our book read through of Elon Musk, Woke Messiah by Albion. When we left off, we were on this page. And it starts by saying, if you could download your memories into a computer and it could access more memories more accurately and faster, would this be a better, more efficient version of yourself? Would it be more human, or are our deficiencies part of what make us human? That is interesting. Sounds like it would be a better version of yourself, but it does seem like it would be less human. It does seem like more of a computer. I guess the question is, what else makes you human other than your ability to access your memories, which I think would be a lot. So would make you more human? I almost feel like it would make you less because it's so different than what we know as human, maybe? Interesting. Then we have an Albion blurb from 2038 that reads, we live in a world of infinite and diverse perspectives. We all experience the world differently with our unique senses. The deaf man describes a bird without hearing its song. The blind man describes a bird without seeing its feathers. We all have senses that are sharper than other people. We all have senses that are dull compared to other people. We communicate with a language that appears uniform and exact, yet we hear words differently. Single words have many meanings. The same word conjures different images in each individual mind. We are so very ignorant, so very lost. And then in bold it says, unique senses communicate differently in each individual mind. Didn't he have like a song about the blind and deaf man? Not a song, but a poem about the blind and deaf man describing a bird. There's that fable or whatever about all those people that are feeling, all the blind men feeling the elephant and describing it differently depending on the part that they're feeling. Even though our senses are limited, even in that limited space, they're very different from each other. There's just so much complexity between us. It does, and being able to communicate that and come to a consensus at times can be very difficult. Agreed. Below that, it says, hey Elon, what are the simplest pleasures you enjoy? I would love to hear him answer that question. What does he enjoy that the rest of us have access to? That is not a function of being smart or rich or talented. What does he enjoy doing? I don't know, whether it's going for a walk, getting some fresh air, some simple meal. I'd like to hear him answer that. Then we have a Bertrand Russell quote that says, the most savage controversies are those about matters as to which there is no good evidence either way. Because then what are you using to argue with? If you can't prove that you're wrong or you're right, it feels like you're bound to not come to a compromise or a similar conclusion if you didn't start, or if you started very far apart opinion-wise. Below that, we have a heading that says, number of Tesla vehicles on Earth and Mars, private and commercial, approximate. And then, so it goes down from 2022 to 2032, 42, 52, 62, 72. And on Earth, 4 million in 22, 75 million in 32, 355 million in 42, just under 1,052,000,000, just over 1,062,000,000, and just over, or right at 1.4 billion in 2017. Whoa. Huh. And then on Mars, 0 in 2022, 40 and 32, 542, 6,352, just over 15,062 and 18,072. So a gradual increase on both Earth and Mars. Some decades have a bigger jump than others. In the last episode, we read about those solar flares in 55 or 57? I wonder if that affected these numbers at all in the author's mind. But kind of fun to think about how that might grow and affect civilization on both planets. Below that is a poem that reads, "Sitting down on the most thankful of days, to eat together and shout joyful praise. I have so much to be thankful for. I think of things and then think of more. It's embarrassing that we are ever greedy when there are those who are much more needy." Yeah, that's probably a good thing to contemplate more often than not. Gratitude, humility, thankfulness, get you in a good state of mind. Next page is a Bertrand Russell quote that reads, "To like many people spontaneously and without effort is perhaps the greatest of all sources of personal happiness." Yeah. I wonder if that's more innate or if that is something that can be taught. Probably some of both. But yeah, if you're always complaining about other people or looking to judge other people as opposed to enjoying or trying to learn from other people and seeing what you have in common, one seems like a much more miserable existence than the other. Let's see. Below that is a blurb from Albion in 2060. Reads, "I think we are all philosophers, evolved contractors of thought. We are all possessed by inexpressible ideas, mind-confounding truths. Ideas that motivate us, they push and pull us along. Ideas that conflict us, make us question and doubt truth. Unable to share these sacred ideals with others, we suffer. Unable to put them in words to rationalize their existence. Bogged down with society's social constructions, laughable rules and regulations. Society's pleasantries and their insatiable appetite for the politically correct. Unable to release the anguish our souls constantly bear." And then in bold it says, "We are all philosophers, possessed by inexpressible ideas, unable to release the anguish our souls constantly bear." Yeah, so with everything that goes on in your head, how much of it is hard to express? I think we try to express most of it often, but how well are we expressing it? Yeah, how good is the language in doing that? Below that, it says, "Hey Elon, where do you see Neuralink in 50 years? What pros and cons do you see when we are able to communicate with devices and each other much more seamlessly?" Yeah, so interesting. Neuralink, depending on how much or how far the technology goes, you think this could have as much or more impact than Tesla or SpaceX. If it really kind of changes how we communicate and think and access information as people, that could be a huge, reminds me of that Bertrand Russell quote we read. That was kind of a billboard for Neuralink. Will it make us more honest? And then maybe initially that won't be good, but in the long run it might be good for society. Then we have a poem entitled Wordless Wonder. And it reads, I woke up today and decided not to say a single word and to not be heard, and commit not to speak and keep my tongue in my cheek. Okay. What do we make of that? How is your experience different if you decide not to talk and interact and just listen and observe? Probably different, right? Then we have the Albion blurb from 2032 that reads, how different would life be without people, without one society, without the reflection that society constantly offers, their judging stares. Surely as vulnerable infants, we could not survive, completely dependent. An adult's life would be crude, without man's evolved wisdom. But would it be more honest, truth more easily perceived, with no one to lie to, no one to judge, with no reason or motivation to deceptively lie to oneself? Life would be harsh and short and true, a pure existence. Surely one society invariably offers both heavenly and hellish possibilities. Impossible to separate the two, we must live with each. If we live without society, I don't know if he's referring to like being out in the wild as like a solitary animal. Yeah. How would life be different? How would your thought process be different without language or, you'd definitely be closer to nature. And it sounds like he's saying that it would be more honest and true, but shorter and more crude. It's that whole duality again, you know? You can't, it feels like he's constantly saying you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're constantly dealing with the pros and cons. I guess that's that equilibrium thing again. Constantly dealing with both sides of the same spectrum. And every choice offers, both good and bad. And then on the bottom of this page it says, do you think our whole system of math would be different if we had 12 fingers and 12 toes? That's a good question. Was it completely based on us having 10 fingers and 10 toes as far as this counting? It would be interesting to see how math progressed and if that would be different. Well, I'll leave you with that thought. And then join us for the next episode. And until then, have a great day.